Hello everyone, and welcome to the showdown between the Greenskins, who are going to be led by Warzog, the Great Green Baconator, and the Last Defenders, who are going to be helmed by Croc R. So guys, we're now live with the Festog update, and there have been a bunch of multiplayer balance changes. Of course, there are some pretty heavy nerfs to the Vampire Coast. They did have the deck droppers, movement speed, and they have lowered accuracy, and I think they got their ammunition changed as well. But anyways, we're going to be talking about one of the main winners of the Festog update, which is going to be the Greenskins. So these guys are definitely one of the best kind of pound-for-pound infantry units in the game now. I wouldn't say that in terms of cost effectiveness, but if they go to fight like Chosen with great weapons or other elite infantry, they're going to be able to do their job pretty effectively now. And that is because they now have 60 models. So the Greenskins before only had 45 models. So if they took any heavy damage from, let's say, a big monster or a Fate of Una type effect or even Spirit Leeches, they would go down pretty quick, and it was a huge waste of money. But the Greenskins have now had a huge buff with their 16 model counts, which actually puts them on par with regular Black Orcs. I think their HP used to be like 5,800, but now they have the 8,100 of the standard Black Orc and have pretty beastly combat stats to boot. 43 and 36 compared to 37 and 27, so they're much more durable in terms of their melee defense. And on top of that, they have 50 weapon strength, which is quite solid, but they do have armed to the teeth. A little bit tricky in the Greenskin speak there, but wielding Evi, Choppa, and each hand, the Greenskins cleave through several foes with each swing, so they do have a little bit more splash damage than standard Black Orcs, and also have great armor piercing, so quite excited to see how they do here. So in the front line, we got Black Orcs, and the Greenskins in the middle. In the back, we have the Rusty Airs and two groups of Savage Orc Airboys. So I brought the Savage Orc Airboys simply because they have better armor piercing. You can see they have 6, and most Gobos have, I think, like 1 or 2. It's pretty pathetic for sure. We still do have the Rusty Airs to kind of sunder the armor and butter things up, but I like these guys a little bit more as a standalone unit, but I still did bring the Rusty Airs here in the center. In the back, we have two nasty Skulkers, which are very good against the dinosaurs. If Croxagores or Croc R or anything, big, right? He has some horn ones over here. If they're going to be charging into your formation, the Skulkers are great. You pop a smoke bomb, you're able to pin them down, and it makes it much easier to deal with for the Greenskins. In the back, we do have the Hammer of Gork. I just brought it. I don't know if it's a good pick against the dinosaurs, but I just wanted to bring it because I know Falcon likes to I've seen him bring Temple Guard before, so I was like, okay, we're going to see if maybe we can get some value off Temple Guard, and at the very least, it's going to force my opponent to come to me, so we'll see how it does. I think actually shooting at like Skinks in the beginning, which is not the best use. We have the Dirkit Squig, so just going to be using them to chase down Skinks and Saurus and just try and get some damage in the cycle charge, and they're pretty good armor piercing, so they're not completely useless against some of these bigger targets. On the far side, we have a couple goblins, so goblins here, and two groups of goblins over there just to be screens. Of course, the dinosaurs do love to run in with just big monsters and just run shop on the Greenskins, so I was like, okay, let's get some gobos just to kind of hold the line. And worst case scenario, if you did go with very skink-heavy play, you have some goblins with silver shields who cost nothing to just absorb their missiles all day. We have Warzog, the Great Green Baconator, and one group of Trolls. Now, Trolls are actually a pretty good counter against Croxagores. In terms of like one-on-one combat, 34, 32, and 100. And Croxagores do have 26, 26, and 94. So the Trolls will definitely win that. Although Croxagores have a little bit more HP, but with the regeneration, Trolls are good. So after I saw Falcon's build, I was like, yeah, I kind of wish I had brought like 2 or 3 Trolls to fight all these Croxagores in the river. But man, this is going to be a nasty one. And also, the water here, guys, aquatics coming into play. Aquatic and aquatics with these crocodiles. I think have the aquatics trait. Let's go ahead and check. Wonder if they do. It doesn't say it in the tooltip, but I'm pretty sure they had it. Maybe I'm just like wrong on that. I mean, you would think they would be able to, but I guess they don't. But anyways, the Skinks do, so that's going to be kind of cool. For Falcon's army, he does have a Heavens Caster with Wind Blast, which is super good against like condensed Black Orcs or Goblins. A massive force of Horn ones over here, and it looks like a bunch of Skinks in the front line with Javelins, and he does also have a Saurus Old Blood, so I thought it was Croc R, so my apologies. I misread that in the screen, but it's going to be just an old-fashioned Old Blood here. And he's coming in with the Horn of Kygor, I think, which gives a charge bonus, melee attack. That's going to be pretty nasty, actually, and I can see why he brought it instead of Croc R, just going for that huge Alpha Strike with the Horned ones on the flank. So that's it for his entire army. Very brutish, heavy metal army here, coming in with the Croxagores with their spanking paddles. And let's see how this battle goes. So he's going to be advancing across the river. My Squigs are going to be going over in the center. Obviously, I see that he has a massive force coming over here, and he gets a very nice Wind Blast right there on the Savage Orc Airboys, taking down about half their HP. Did it kill any models? Yeah, it killed 8 models, but for the most part, I was able to salvage most of their, not by my own doing, but I just got lucky and didn't lose a lot of models there. So the Gobos are going to be squaring up, the Nasty Skulkers as well. Black Orcs are taking a lot of javelins to the face, and I was like, I don't want to charge and fight in the river. I know it's going to penalize my Black Orcs, so very good stuff by Falcon, taking advantage of the map here, just making sure that, because if I go in here, I'm fighting against aquatics, I'm taking a penalty on my Black Orcs, just things aren't going to be pretty, but I'm also taking the javelins to the face, so both situations kind of suck. In the meantime, Warzog is going to be lining up over here with the Nasty Skulkers, and the Cube of Darkness has been cast on Warzog, which is going to greatly reduce the power recharge rate, so definitely some very, very solid play here. In the meantime, my Arrow Boys are going to start shooting, as well as the Rusty Airs, and we're shooting in at Croxagores, actually getting some good damage back, so not a complete wash. So we do send in the goblins to kind of muck these guys up, and the gobos don't mind fighting in the river. I mean, they're basically submerged anyways, and they're going to be taking some of those sweet spanking paddles here from the Croxigors as they do advance. The Crimson Killers are going to be meeting head on against these Croxigors. It's going to be a nasty fight. Croxigors, obviously very good against, these type of infantry units. They have great armor piercing, a bonus versus infantry. But I think head-to-head, the Crimson Killers, if they were not so beat up from the Javelins, would probably win that fight, and quite eager to kind of follow that progress. In the meantime, Black Orcs and the Trolls are going to be swarming over here to intercept the other Croxigors and the Horned ones that engaged here. So we got a pretty heavy fight. The Horn of Kygor has been popped. It's going to give some pretty substantial stats here, but I have my nasty Skulkers coming in. We're going to be dropping a fat smoke bomb, so you can see the Source Old Blood has been pinned down, and we're not going to get a ton of damage on him probably, but oh man, he just kind of plowed through those guys, and one of the Trolls actually got knocked over, but they're in good shape. Here we go, has been popped. Bonewood Staff, of course, giving my entire army pretty huge buffs, and I did actually decide to send the Squigs in, the Squig Hoppers, to just kind of fight the Horned ones and just pin things down because I needed some more mass here. I just wanted to hold back the Horned ones, just keep them from getting into the back line. But the fight is definitely very pitched here, relatively even, but we are getting some huge damage here on the Source Old Blood. The Smoke Bomb's doing work. Trolls, of course, hit very, very hard. And in the front line, the Black Orcs are doing pretty good, obviously beating down the Squigs. The Crimson Killers, I'm not sure what happened to them, but it looks like some of these Black Orcs did go down to the focus fire from my archers here. So the archers and the Savage Orc Airboys doing a pretty good job, also poking the Source Old Blood, but we basically have a huge pit fight. Black Orcs are fighting here. Of course, they're immune to psychology, which is really good. It's kind of my big anchor. And I'm just sending the Trolls after the Source Old Blood, trying as best I can to damage those guys down. Now, the balance power is pretty damn even. My archer line is somewhat healthy. I still have the Goblin Rock Lobber just kind of shooting it at some of the cohorts. I think I actually switched it onto the Horned ones. I was like, hey, it has good armor piercing. If it hits, it hits. But I'm really not sure what happened to the Crimson Killers. Here they are. So they have 22 kills. It looks like they were able to do some pretty good work against those Croxigors. It must have been them, because it looked like they were retreating from the center. But unfortunately, Falcon's about to get a beautiful charge in from the Horned one. So they actually broke through the formation, found a little bit of an opening. I started to pull back my Black Orcs, kind of anticipating that it was going to be a bad situation back here. But he gets through very, very efficiently. And I actually used FG of the Git up on his Lord. So I used it on the Source Old Blood to do damage. Of course, the Amulet of Itzel has been popped by Falcon, which is going to give him very good just overall resist. But yeah, I really was hoping that, or I guess in retrospect, I was like, damn it, I should have saved that for the Horned ones who are just blitzing through my back line, just going crazy. So they're getting into the Savage Orc Airboys, and it looks like his King Priest with Heavens is also going to be attacking the Hammer of Gork here. The Baconator is kind of having to scramble to figure things out. We have some Gobos in reserve, some Forest Goblin Spider Riders we pulled back to kind of swarm on top of these Horned ones, and the Squig Hoppers are also going to be coming in with their Prison Shanks, but damn, look how much bull they are on these Horned ones. The big dinosaur is also coming back in. The Source Old Blood is going to be bull rushing my backline, but the bounce power actually in my favor. So I have a little bit of a lead here. Frontline fight is going okay. Black Orcs, unfortunately, are wavering due to the Croxigors. But we do have the There We Go, which is helping our troops quite a bit here in the front line, as it does buff up the Goblins to be, make them pretty good. I mean, 34 kills on those guys. Again, I mean, it is against Skinks, but it's still not bad. So the Trolls are going to be charging in. Fist of Gork has been dropped. They're going to be attacking some of these Horned ones in the back and definitely doing a very good job. The Horned ones are taking a bit of a beating from these big old Trolls. And yeah, I mean, Trolls are one of those things that a lot of people overlook, just thinking, oh, their leadership, they're just going to break. But they're kind of a finesse unit, which is kind of strange when you look at them. They're actually, very, very good if you use them correctly. But you can see here, the big old dinosaur is doing pretty good with his bonus versus large, which I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah, you can see 515 plus that bonus versus large. So some of the Black Orcs have rallied. The group that I did pull back, they had 49 models, and they're going to be fighting Horned ones. And like I said, Black Orcs, much like the Tomb King matchup, are pretty good versus big armored constructs. They can do good versus Croxigors. Yes, Croxigors do have the advantage, but at least the Black Orcs are going to put up a fight and not buckle like a lot of other Greenskins would. These Trolls are still fighting here. They're able to rampage some of the Horned ones, and the bounce of power is still in my favor, but it could go at any second. The main reason the bounce of power is in my favor is because the Source Old Blood obviously is very beat up, but if he was able to get on the Baconator and just get a big alpha strike on him, that could change things pretty quick. So some of the Gobos are going to be rushing in against these Skink cohorts. My Savage Orc Airboys, I'm trying to pull back, but the big dino's on the hunt here. I maybe should have just turned and attacked. I mean, he's very low, 1300 HP. And these guys, while their frenzy is active, are immune to psychology, so that could be something that's pretty good. But the Baconator does get a little bit caught up. I was trying to do a little loop-de-loo right here, and I just get whooped on. So the Source Old Blood comes in with a headbutt. You can see I do drop a smoke bomb as well coming in from these Skulkers to slow all these guys down, which is going to let the Baconator escape, but he has taken some damage. And I think at this point, Falcon realizes that he has to go after the Baconator. Cube of Darkness has been popped. I mean, the battle is going relatively well for the dinos in many areas. Right here, you can see the Trolls are fended off by the Croxigors. Of course, they took quite a bit of damage. I do have my Squigs as well as my Forest Goblin Spider Riders coming back, but these Skinks have won over here as well. So the bounce of power is definitely pretty dicey, guys. I mean, yes, it is my favorite, but the battle is very, very close. Croxigors are coming in. My archers, some of them are going to be rallying over here, but the Horned ones, all two of these Horned ones are still in there fighting, probably going to be feasting on a couple of goblins, and man, great leadership chip on these guys. They're only shaken despite all of that. But yeah, the archers are going to be shooting in, hopefully able to clip some of those guys, and we are getting some good Overwatch fire on the Crocsgores. That's also something that's quite cool about Savage Orc Airboys, is they're not really pushovers in melee. Now, the bounce power is heavily normalizing, and that's because the Baconators haven't run in the forest. I mean, he's having substantial problems being chased down by the Saurus Old Blood, who I believe is quite a bit faster, 93 speed compared to the 62 on the Bacon. I've been trying to kind of do the Tokyo drift and swerve and get back and forth, but unfortunately I just can't get away from the Skink Chief plus the Saurus Old Blood. Now the Old Blood's very low, and I do have some Archer Overwatch coming in, so the Rustiers and my Savage Orc Airboys are going to be shooting downtown. Thankfully for the Dinos, they do have the Shroud of the Forest, but big units also do take a penalty in the forest, but I do get an effigy of the Get off on the Saurus Old Blood, so he's going to be pinned down. He's really, really low, and effigy also does do damage. And the Baconator might be able to get away here. He's just squealing as he runs out of the forest. Couple Crocsgores here, a very nice Wind Blast coming in on the Rustiers, beautiful stuff there from Falcon. I have some Gobos coming back, some Black Orcs, so I have a lot of troops coming back that probably could finish off these Horned ones and these Crocsgores. And the Baconator is just squealing for freedom as he's able to slip past those guys. The Savage Orc Airboys, unfortunately, are going to have to be sacrificed to the to Zotek here, as they do charge in and fight some of these very heavy forces coming in. Now, the Saurus Old Blood has 335 HP. He's very low. These Hero Goblins running in, thinking they might be able to get him, and yeah, at the very least, they're going to shut down these Skink cohorts, get a nice little charge there. But the Baconator is just trying to run, and I do kind of run among some Black Orcs who are able to kind of hold some of these guys back. These 3 Horn ones, just absolute insanity, able to get in there and actually pin me down a little bit. And in the back, I have some Black Orcs. The Crimson Killers are coming back, and as far as kills, they have 34, but I'm sure they did a ton of HP damage this game. And yeah, the Baconator, I was like, all right, let's run back to the Black Orcs. Maybe we can stabilize, but this is straight up just some Jurassic Park shit. You can see that this massive Saurus Old Blood is coming in with 349 HP. And he gets a big old headbutt on Warzog. I think I did actually juke that attack and was able to run back into the forest. So just squealing and running, just trying my best. The Hammer of Gork crew is going to be coming back to their artillery piece, but a massive Wind Blast coming down from Falcon again. Wind Blast, such a good ability. Able to hit a lot of my troops here. And the bounce power is still even, but slightly in the favor of the dinosaurs. But look at this. The Saurus Old Blood's actually wavering because now he's among the Black Orcs and the Crimson Killers, who are not going to buckle due to psychology. But man, just that wavering. I mean, the whole game is on the line with this wavering, and it looks like he's able to stabilize right here as he does jump on the Baconator. And the Baconator is going to be wavering and terrified. And you can see, much like it is usually with the Greenskins, when your leadership does go, so does the game. So from there, it's going to be a cleanup for the dinosaurs. So very well played, back and forth game. You know, I had that bounce of power advantage, and he was able to come back with that Saurus Old Blood, get some very good timing attacks, and 2 really, really good Wind Blasts there in the late game. And from there, he was able to kind of polish off my forces. But what a great game. I think the build was pretty good. Black Orcs in the front did well. I would probably honestly just cut the Hammer of Gork in 1 Goblin and get another Troll. And I really think that would have been enough to kind of stabilize and have enough mass to kind of hold back the big dinosaurs. But the Hammer of Gork actually got decent kills, but I really just wanted to use it to kind of force my opponent to me. But in retrospect, cut 1 of these basic Goblins. You only really need 2 to secure each flank, and then just get another group of Trolls. But yeah, I really liked it. And against Saurus, I think that the Dirkid Squigs and Temple Guard, cycle charging from them could be useful. So maybe keep them, but there's a couple things I might change. Maybe cut this guy and get a Goblin Big Boss, who's really good against these big dinos. They can like pin them, poison them, do things like that. But beautiful play. That was an incredibly close game, very back and forth. So I just want to say very well played to Falcon. Big thanks to playing these games with me. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this Greenskin versus Last Defender showdown. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.